Hello and welcome to Vilegrave, a heavily modded Nationgen game. I am the host of the game, and this is my first Let's Play. My name is PureBlind, and I am an intermediate player. I hosted this game because I wanted to have a Nationgen game that was fair, had some mod, magic enhanced and better arena, just for more fun cross-paths and something new, really. I've only played about 5 games before this, so I hope this is a fun one. I'm just going to take you through my nation, because if you haven't seen my nation, my pretender's not going to make a lot of sense because he's a bit strange, and as we go along the game I will introduce you to the enemy nations as we come across them. Okay, so we'll go through my unit list right now. So my first unit is my scout slash assassin. He's a pretty good unit. Assassin 0, which is alright, stealth 65, which is quite good, and he's a flying Kalen, so that's pretty cool. He would be a lot better if the other nations didn't also have a lot of assassins. I think about 8 of the 12 nations in this game include assassins, and mine is maybe the 3rd or 4th best. Yep. So this is my Kalen flying commander. He's the generic commander. He's alright, but I'm never going to recruit him because the other commander is a lot better. He's got leadership 80 plus 0, and he's just flying. He's not that great. This is my Vanir commander, who is awesome. He's leadership 80 plus 1 plus inspirational for plus 2 total. He's stealthy 65 and he has glamour. 21 defense, like all Vanirs, so he's got tons of defense. He's awesome and we'll be recruiting a lot of them. As you'll see with my whole nation, the main downside to him is his upkeep is insane. Almost all of my upkeeps are insane. This is my one and only flying priest. He's a pretty cool unit, but I don't think we're going to be recruiting a lot of him because he's quite expensive. He's a demon. He's got chaos power, fear 5, all 1, and he's one of our very few sacred units. Pretty cool, but I don't know how many I'm going to recruit. Maybe just a flyer and build temples. This is my basic mage, who is almost a better combat unit than he is a mage. Like all of our mages, he's a mundane researcher. Glamour, stealth, research 7, earth 1. I think earth 1 is probably one of the more useless single paths. So I may end up recruiting him only if I'm running low on gold and need researchers, which is honestly pretty likely, so we'll see what happens with him. This is my first of the non-slow-to recruit mages. He's pretty awesome, actually. So fire 2, earth 2, stealthy, glamour, mundane researcher, good defense skill. He's got melee encumbrance 3, which is really good. Unfortunately, he's got spellcasting encumbrance 9, which is a lot less good. Which means even if he gets to high paths, it's going to cost him a lot of fatigue to cast even low-level spells, because he's going to get 9 fatigue added to every spell cast, regardless of how easy it is for him to cast. Overall, a really good mage. He's one of the reasons I picked this nation, because in Magic Enhanced, Fire 2 and Earth 2 is probably one of the best cross paths. Unfortunately, I think 5 or 6 of the 12 nations chosen are almost completely immune. There's 2 Dustwalker nations, 2 Abyssian nations, 1 Ape nation that's fire resistant for some reason, and then yeah, there's probably quite a bit more. So originally I was going to spam him for tons of good spells like Magma Children, I think they're called, or other summons like that, but we're not going to be using him as much as I thought we would. Here's my other mage. He's Earth 2, Death 2, which is alright. You get Horde of Skeletons, but Horde of Skeletons in Magic Enhanced I think is probably not as good as it is in the base game, just because there's so many other alternatives. He's got Invulnerable 20, which is pretty good. He's also got Encumbrance 9 spellcasting, which is, again, not great, which means he can't, even if he's Death 4, it's going to cost him, what is it? Instead of 10 fatigue to cast Horde of Skeletons, it's going to cost him 19, which is, you know, twice as much. Yeah, but otherwise he's still a pretty good mage. For both of these Vanir mages, the upkeep cost is 160, which is really high for a 2/2 path mage. So yeah, I'll show you my scales later to make up for that. This is my only other priest and slow to recruit mage. He's pretty good, actually. So he's got 2 earth right off the bat. He's 2 to gold, but he's only 112 upkeep. And he's got really good cross paths. I played a few test games with him, and I ended up with like a Earth 2, Nature 3, and on one game even a Nature 4 mage, which was really awesome. Otherwise he'd be a really good mage. However, this mage, the Desyn'd of the Hawks, which is only 150 golds and slow to recruit, is amazing. He's got immediate +3 in 4 paths, which means I have +3 in air, +3 in death, +3 in nature, and +3 in blood. I just have to wait for it. So I think probably after turn 4 or 5, we're going to be recruiting just these guys for a long time. Yeah. And this is my Sacred Commander, and he's terrible. Death power and chaos power, friggin' awful. He's got +2 morale and inspirational, which makes him +3 morale, so he might be alright at leading troops. And he's got fear, so I might end up recruiting 1 or 2 of them if I need to lead around a lot of sheep troops and chaff, but otherwise probably never going to recruit him. Yeah, so that's my nation. Lots of fire magic, lots of earth magic, lots of death magic, and really strong cross paths to 2 strong recruit mages. For our basic troops, we've got Kalians and Vanniers. So this is a winged bowman. He's not terrible for a bowman, but for Nationgen he's pretty trash. Just Kopesh, constant longbow. This is the same unit with just a regular longbow, even though they cost the same. Anyway, I'll probably never recruit them. Then these 3 guys are not terrible, actually. So they're just winged Kalians with 13 protection and 16 defense, which is pretty awesome. 7 encumbrance, which is not as great. 7 encumbrance is pretty high. This one has a short sword, this one has a broadsword, and this one has a lance. I might end up mixing the short sword and the lances ones, but I'm not really too sure because this one's a little bit cheaper on resources. Now for these 2 Vannier units, which I'm going to use to expand and probably as my main force. They are really awesome. This one is 16 protection, 19 defense, stealthy 65 glamour. He's amazing. He's one of the reasons I picked this nation. This is the same unit, but with 8 protection instead of 16. They're pretty hefty cost for 55 gold, but the upkeep cost at 44 gold a year is a lot. It's a lot for this unit. This is this Black Warrior guy I got. He's kind of like the Sacred unit from before, but not Sacred. He's okay. I might mix 1 or 2 of them in late game with a squad just to try to get this fear out there. But overall, he's not that great. We've got a Hydra, which in some mod is a lot better than normal, so we might end up actually recruiting these guys. Regeneration 10, Fear 5, Blunt Resist, Pierce Resist, Susceptible to Fire, Poison Resist, Poison Cloud, Undisciplined. I think if we can mass 10 of these or so together, they might be cool, but they're really expensive and they've got a high upkeep. And this is my Sacred Troop, and he's awful, just awful. Max 3 a month for 65 gold and 16 resources, and he's again Death Power, Chaos Power, Dark Vision, Demon, Flying, Fear 5, but he's so expensive and there's only 3 of them. I ended up not taking a Bless, but I'll show you that in my Pretender screen. Yeah, so this is a pretty alright nation, but I have almost no Sacred units that I'll ever want to recruit. It's very expensive to maintain, but it's got really lots of cross paths, and I think it's probably one of the top 5 nations in the game, if not the top 3. Okay, I guess I'll show you my Pretender now. So this is my Pretender, #1 pop star Aaron the Ghost King. One of the reasons I wanted to play Magic Enhanced is because through forgeable items, Rainbow Mages I think are a lot better. This game also has 50% magic sites instead of 40%, which is a 25% increase, making this Ghost King going from like an alright Pretender to a fairly good Pretender in my mind. He's dormant, so he'll come out around turn 12. He's got all these paths here. I forgot to mention earlier that my nation has Yazad summons, which are really, really good. So I've got Astral 3 on him, which I hope I can boost up to Astral 5 eventually to get all those summons down. I've also got Fire 1 and Death 3 to make fire boosters for normal mages. My nation is Drain immune, so I've got Drain 3. I'm going to probably have to hide a lot of gems on my mages to avoid that the magic is fading event, which takes away like up to 30 or 40 gems or more. It might be a bit dangerous in this game because, as I said, there's about 8 other nations with assassins, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. Luck 3 for good events and just more random gems. Like I said, I have access to almost all paths natively with that random 3 mage, so I'll probably be using gems from everything. Growth 3 because my nation uses a lot of gold. Growth is not as good in some mod, but it's still pretty good. Production 2 to get those early knights out because they are I think 20 something production or resources, so they're pretty expensive. Turmoil 1 is for more points and also to force more events, which are usually going to be good because of luck 3. And the cold 1, my nation is like heat neutral, so they prefer cold 0 or heat 0. However, there's like a couple Dustwalker nations who have firepower, so I'm taking cold 1 to just kind of dissuade them a bit from entering my territory, but I take a lot of income hits from this. Yeah, so that's my pretender, and I guess we'll go on to turn 1.